Hello and welcome back or welcome to the channel. I'm Loudguns and today I'm going to stick my head above the parapets and hop into the annual PvP versus PvE drama. Pyro's just around the corner. According to the rumour mill it's going to go live tomorrow, but the rumour mill has been saying tomorrow for the past week, so I'd take that with a pinch of salt and just stick with soon TM. And with the 4.0 launch and accompanying wipe, we've got some spicy changes to what components will be available in shops, with all of the highest spec military and stealth components no longer appearing for sale. Instead, alongside a bunch of other cool loot, these are only going to be available as rewards for the new contested zones. A PvP vs E combat loop based within the Pyro stations themselves, essentially has extraction shooter vibes. This has not gone down particularly well with some parts of the community, but in this vid I kind of want to just put my thoughts together and how I think it's actually a good thing for the entire community and the game more generally. And I think it comes back to something my friend Space Tomato said a while ago. For the game to be successful, there's got to be elements of it that you don't personally like. So if this sounds good to you, grab a cup of tea while I roll the intro, then let's get into it. Now I completely understand why people might be a little concerned about these changes. I do just think that both ends of the PvE, PvP spectrum get a little knee-jerky around instances like this, particularly over on Spectrum itself. But the key issue boils down to gating. Certain content being locked behind certain gameplay. If you don't like that gameplay, or you just suck at it for whatever reason, then it can be annoying that you can't access all the content the game has to offer. I mean, I'm under no illusion as to my personal level of PvP skill. We had our org birthday party this weekend, and during the FPS events I got shot in the head far more times than my from the hip R97 trick worked. But where this, to my mind at least, becomes a non-issue is when you consider that Star Citizen isn't a single player game, it's an MMO. Now don't worry, this is not me saying screw you solo players. The point I'm making is that whether you choose to play in groups or solo, you inhabit a world with lots of other players who you can interact with. I find it quite annoying when I see some people respond to players who say they like to play solo with, well, go and play a single player game. There's plenty of reasons to play an MMO solo. I personally have enjoyed doing it in the past. But if solo to you means never interacting with another human being, then that is a bit of a different story, and single player games might actually be the way forward. In my opinion, games with as much variety of gameplay as SC has actually thrive by gating various content behind different loops, because this nudges you as a player to approach things in one of a number of ways. First, you could always expand your horizons. Maybe you suck at PvP, but if you practiced, you would empirically get better. And what's better than being good? Being lucky. Get to Pyro, set your spawn, buy some gear, and go at it. 9 times out of 10, you might get your backside handed to you, but the dopamine rush of that one time you get lucky or good might make up for it. I've personally not been playing too much of the 4.0 PTU because I, a bit selfishly, want the new patch to be fresh for as long as possible. I hopped on in to go and get some B-roll for this video, and honestly I found the Ghost Arena at Ruin Station to be so much fun. There's a proper rush when you get into a gunfight, the random rabid copions are mildly terrifying, and at the end of the day it's super low risk. All you can really lose is a set of armour and a gun, then you just quickly respawn at the station and head right back in to seek your revenge on whoever capped you. And as you commit more time to it, you'll get better. You might even find yourself enjoying it. Nobody likes going to the gym the first time after Christmas, but you go, you lift, you run, it gets easier, you see results, and you end up loving it. Everybody wants these muscles, but ain't nobody want to lift these heavy weights. Second, you can always get some backup. If you're going into these contested zones and 10 out of 10 times you're getting nowhere because you get outnumbered, then go get some numbers yourself. Quite regularly when I see people say that they don't want to join an org, it's because of the hassle, having to defer to others and the added hurdles of getting parties together. Trust me, I know on this one of my New Year's resolutions is to get the words "if you need an invite, add loud guns as a friend," and make sure you're in menus ready to launch added to our Discord soundboard. But bluntly, there are a lot of positives that far outweigh the negatives. Completely omitting the huge benefits of globe-spanning relationships, camaraderie and shenanigans, and reducing it to the cold hard maths of gaming, more guns equals better. I've been open about my own deficiencies as a one-on-one PvE peer, but the more people you can successfully coordinate to work together, the less individual skill matters. And coordination and teamwork are completely distinct skills from your ability to perfectly place a crosshair on someone else's head. And third, you can take what I like to call the Mr. Muscle approach. Find someone who loves the jobs you hate. If that reference didn't land, then you probably weren't a British kid in the 90s. But realistically, this is going to be the way forward for many people in Star Citizen as the game progresses. A core issue in this instance is that Grade A military and stealth components are not just the best loadouts for PvP fighters. They're also the best loadouts for prospectors and for vultures. So if you have literally zero interest in PvP, and simply don't want to spend your, for most of us quite limited game time, engaging in this area, then that is 100% fine. But either via an org or via trade, look to exchange goods and services with others who have what you want and want what you have. Right now in game, that's not as easy as it could be, and if we had some form of player trade system where we could list goods for sale or purchase, that would be great, but we don't. And the fact that it's not as easy as it could be is not the same as impossible. Items can be traded between players, you party up, you meet up in a hangar, the seller brings the stuff up on an elevator, and the buyer sends that same elevator down. It's not perfect, and there's clearly risks involved for both parties with no escrow system and bugs, but it is possible. And the reason I said in the beginning that I think this is good for the whole community and the game more generally, is that it encourages this symbiotic relationship between people who appreciate different aspects of a diverse game. Going into 4.0, it's going to be a pretty two-dimensional trade dynamic. PvPers have the good components, but realistically, more industrially minded PvEers will be more cash-rich. So it will likely be a goods for credits deal. But in the future with crafting, it will likely evolve as we see blueprints rather than ready-made goods as rewards. That's when we start to see the economy evolve with demand for resources that can only be filled by the dedicated industrialists. And I guess while I have been speaking more to the PvE-minded folks in this video, this is where I would turn my attention to the PvPers. Because some might say, well, why would I want to trade? I don't need so much cash, so why would I just want to help these people out? Well, you might not explicitly need their AUEC now, but it sure might help to know some really good miners, salvagers, explorers, racers, medics, etc. further down the line. Looking at the 1.0 presentation, it's pretty clear that this element of gating is just one tiny step in the direction that CIG are going down. Each of the guild progressions is going to have content locked behind it, blueprints, gear drops, components, etc. MMOs are social games. They're about working together as much as, if not more than, working against one another. In the future, it'll probably be good to have made friends now with people who might have more to bring to the table. Finally, and quite selfishly, I think this is awesome because it adds purpose to diversified organisations. Since starting an org 4 years ago, I've always been adamant that we should have balance and encourage people of all stripes to sign up and work together. Not everything in SC should be for everyone. If you can get a group together with varied interests and give them common purpose, you can build something ultimately stronger than the sum of its parts. I like that the changes encourage people who are part of an org like ours to go out and spend their time doing the gameplay that they love, while being able to contribute to one another's success. On day 1 of 4.0, our combat wings are going to be heading into Pyro's contested zones. Our industrialists are going to make sure that they're sent off with enough startup cash, and our Logi crews are going to be there to make sure that they get resupplied when they need it. But then if things go well, it will come full circle, and we'll be bringing good components back out of Pyro to fit our industrial fleet with. If as the game evolves, you're starting to think about joining an org, then please do feel free to pop into our Discord via the link in the video description down below. There's no pressure to sign up, and we do a lot of events that let people just get a taste of what multiplayer experiences are like. So I think I'll wrap this up there. I hope you found the vid interesting, and if you think I've earned it, then please do consider dropping a like and hitting subscribe. And let me know down in the comments what you think of the changes. With all that said, I just want to say thank you for watching to the end, and I look forward to seeing you next time.